Okay, let's look at anticipation and ants plus plus, which is a methodology under which you try and create a watch list and next day try and enter them as and when they start breaking out. So this end of the day, I'm going to do anticipation and I'm going to do ants plus plus. For anticipation, I'm going to use the scans which I use for anticipation, which is anticipation bullish. So I'll do anticipation bullish and I look at higher price stocks also. So for that, what I'm going to do is sort by NC and I'm looking for stocks with the lowest NC. NC, because somebody is going to ask, is absolute C minus C1. So the lower the thing, the closer better is the setup. Now, if this particular stock breaks out from here, are you going to be buyer? And the answer is yes. So this can go into an ants plus plus kind of a setup, but it is such a choppy stock. So I'm not really keen on putting it there. Okay. So let's go and keep. Now this sun power, now you see like, and it's here was like in a 1.68%. This is, if another day like this happens and after that it breaks out, this will be a good setup. So I'm putting it in an ants plus plus kind of a list. Okay. If you are new, the more anticipation plus plus kind of work which you do, this is a very nice kind of a setup, right? 0.02%, 2 tight days. So 2T setup, it's been like, and there was earnings catalyst, earnings CP it was. So that's a nice setup, right? As a pullback kind of a setup, if you are into it, this is a very orderly pullback, right? So that's another one. So this becomes a watch list. From this watch list, you look for a stock which is breaking out. Even this consolidation is not really such a problematic consolidation. There was a high volume here. That's the negative, but you can put it there. And finally, again, in this method also, what you end up doing is you just, the volume is higher in this base. So that's why I wouldn't go there. This is a buyout, this new source. It's a utilities. Utilities don't make a big move. The swing on this one was 7%. This swing was 7%. So if you are into that slower moving, you can look at that. So once you create a watch list, then you can always reduce that. Now this is like first leg and it is forming a flag kind of a thing, right? Then you can reduce it by whichever way you want to do it. So this is the first leg of the move, orderly, and it is breaking out. Now it's like in a forming consolidation. So if there is a breakout here, like if you see a breakout like this here, are you going to be a buyer of it? And the answer is yes, because it will look like that, right? And so if you can draw a candle here and you will see that look, and it will look like a breakout, then yes, definitely you should be looking at it like, can I say, basically. So this is how it will look, right? Why can't I put a rectangle? So if this is how, obviously my rectangle has become too big, but like if you see, if there is a breakout, are you going to buy it here? Yes, if you put a candle like this, yes, right? And you'll say this is a damn good two-line setup, first leg, orderly. So now this should go in your watch list, A category setup, right? Equity, oil and gas CP. See, this is a pullback, but volume is high in the pullback. So if you're looking for pullback kind of setup, you again want a very low volume in pullbacks. Same thing with, it's a rate. I don't really get take rates for anticipation, but if you want, that's a nice setup. Okay. Again, this is a very nice setup. Same thing which I showed you here. If like there is a breakout like this, right? Are you going to be a buyer on that? And the answer is yes, right? If the answer is yes, then what do you want to do is to make this into your watch list, right? That's one of the ways in which you can develop like if you're definitely means 100%. If there is a breakout here, it is a good two-line setup, right? So if it is a good two-line setup, if it is a breakout, which you are going to buy, because obviously that candle looks like a very fat candle, but it will look like this, right? So first leg, linearity, very orderly, series of narrow range days, see the volume is low. So this is A category setup. And if you only find the A category setup and not really have our watch list full of B category kind of setups, then it's much better. See here, the volume is high. This is not the same looking setup as KR. Like look at in the KR case, volume has declined in the direction, and this might be due to the index rebalancing, but volume has declined. Volatility has declined in the direction of the flag, right? This is the direction of the flag, and it's always declining. This is just a 0.029% candle, right? This was like 1.22, so this is lower. So volatility is declining in this direction. And these are some of the nuances which you need to get good at it in order to do this well. And the more you do it, the better you become at this. Reliance Steel, again, see, if there is like an essay, this is a good tool to have, right? And if you have like an essay, how can I move that? Okay, so if you get a candle like that, are you going to be like a buyer of that candle? And the answer is yes, right? And obviously that candle, I can't get a lower, thinner candle, but it will look like this. So first leg, orderly consolidation, breaking out. So buy. What it's, let's see. Wow. So we found like couple of them again, first cut, and then we'll go and fine tune these, right? So that's there. Then let's look at ants 90 plus. So in order to look at ants 90 plus, we look at ants 90 plus. So there are 76 of them, and we are going to sort it by NC with the lowest NC at the top. And if you have any questions on this video, you can always put it in the comments. Again, like here, this is the negative on this particular thing, but if you get a breakout like this here, right? That's what happened. Why can't I draw it now again? I just drew it, right? Okay, so here you go. Okay. Why is it not working now? Sometimes these tools are like that. So you get an idea, like there is a candle like that, it will look good, so you can put it in a watch list basically. And that's a good way of like visualizing how a breakout will look after a breakout without having a breakout. And if you use that tool multiple times, I'm sure you'll figure out how to do a slim candle also. That we already selected that in the other thing, so see volume here is so all over the place. So, and again, you're not looking at many good anticipation setup. If the market has second leg, you will see lot of setup lining up. So now here's what we did. We did ants 90 plus and we did anticipation, right? I'm going to do anticipation IPO because in the case of what we did in anticipation stocks, because we have a filter of TI above 1.05, stocks which have not traded that much don't show up. So this is manually I create a list of stocks which have IPO'd in the last 65 days and I'm running a price percent change between -1 and 1. Why? Because they tend to be more volatile. So as a filter on them. So and you don't see anything in IPOs, right? So that is also done. So now we go and we do ANDS plus plus. In order to do ANDS plus plus, we have a list of stocks, universe. Liquidity is about 100,000, price is about $5, average 7C, average C7 divided by average C65, 1.05. That means they have momentum. And buyout is true is just to reduce stocks which are buyout. So 658 stocks, we copy all of them into the bullish working watch list. Now, here is what we've done, right? Till now, we have done anticipation bullish. So these stocks we don't need to do again. So I'm going to flag all symbols in this list, right? We also did ANDS 90 plus. So because we did ANDS 90 plus, I'm going to again flag all symbols in this list. So when we go and when we come to this bullish working watch list, if we remove the flag symbols, we reduced our workload and we are going to look at 582. This is a ANDS plus plus kind of a methodology, and it's sorted by NC, and we are going to go from lowest NC to higher NC and look for a setup which are good breakout potential setup. So now in this particular case, if there is a breakout after this particular thing, so it will look like a breakout, right? Are you going to be a buyer of a breakout like this? Here is the problem in this particular base, that one negative day. So maybe I would avoid something like that. So even though it looks good, I would so let's do this quickly so that we can find, and once you get good at it, you one look and you know this is a good setup, right? And you're going to buy a breakout out of that. So Red Robin Gourmet. In this case, supposing there is a breakout like this, are you going to be a buyer of that? Okay, and why it is not working? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Okay, so let's assume that there's a breakout like this. Are you going to be a buyer? Answer is yes. And it can also have one more tight day, and that will make it even a better clarity setup, because first leg very linear, orderly consolidation, volume was low on it, it is breaking out, closing near high, so you'll be a buyer of this, right? And basically here, so I would say that that's a good setup, right? So there you go. So that goes there. And again, if you have any questions on this, put it in the comment on this video, because understanding this, you will be able to do this very quickly. The first leg sideways, if there is a breakout, will you be a buyer? Answer yes. The breakout, the volume is in the base is a little bit of a problem. It's going sideways for a too long a time, but here still, if you have a breakout and you find a breakout like this, are you going to buy? And the answer is going to be, will it look like a good 2-inch breakout? Yeah. So heritage. Yamana gold. So you have to keep plugging at this methodology till you become very good at it, and you can do it with a speed. Means if I was not explaining to you people, I would be doing this at a very rapid speed, which anyway I'm doing currently, because one look, you're only looking at the right side of the chart here, right? And you know something like this is not a good setup. And as we keep going down, the chances of finding a good setup decreases, because by that time you already have reached a level. So these are high volume is there. So that's but that volume might be because of the thing. If there is a breakout on this like this, are you going to be a buyer? I think yes. So you can put it there. So Vivo Bioscience, if there is a breakout here like this, will that be a good setup? The answer is yes. There is a long consolidation, first leg, orderly sideways move. Ideally, this was the breakout to buy, but here the breakout will still be a good breakout to buy. So Vivo can go there. Because this volume is a problem, might be because of otherwise like a breakout from here will be a buy. And you can do the same thing with like, or you can develop a automated tool which will put a tomorrow's candle on your chart and see how it will look, and will you be a buyer of that? Will it meet 2 Lynch criteria? And if it is going to meet, like this will definitely meet, but it's a utility, so that's why I'm not putting it there. Okay, then put it in a watch list, because the more you put it, this is a buyout. I 100% remember that this is a buyout, so I'm just going to mark it. I think and it is a buyout. Now here, if there is a breakout, will it look like a good? This is the first leg, second leg, and breakout will be good. So gold goes there. So one of the ways in which you can decide to, like, if you don't want to go through as the market becomes more bullish, you will find that this list will increase to 1500, 2000 stocks, is to just like do the top 200 and then not do rest of them. Like obviously a breakout from here will look like this. So that will be a buy. So there are many ways you can reduce your effort by doing it with that kind of. Again, if this was a narrow range day, if there was a breakout, will you be a buyer? I think yes. Again, breakout, if there's a clean breakout, it might be. So you can decide only at like say 200 kind of a thing, or 300, whatever, 250, and that you have enough. We have enough, like when we have some really good one, then you can stop also. But I'm going to go through everything just to show you on a weekend how to do this and get ready for. So this one is 2.13, this. If there is a breakout, will it look good? Yeah, possible, but. So as we keep going down the list, what is happening is the NCs keeps on increasing, right? So there is a cutoff which you can take by NC also. At a certain cutoff, you don't need to go through everything, right? So I would take a cutoff of 40 cents and remain at that level, because after that most of the things might be breakouts unless they are high price stocks. Now this is because of the index rebalancing kind of a thing. I think, and that's because of index rebalancing. But if there is a breakout here, are you going to be a buyer of the breakout, right? And that's the thing which you have to look at. So here, it looks choppy, so I will let it go. But I must remove the triangles, otherwise there will be a problem, right? So here, like say this would have been a good anticipation setup. Now this particular thing didn't show up in your breakouts because it's only 3.68. But is it a good momentum burst? The answer is yes. So that's a very good anticipation momentum burst. Now you're looking at like breakouts are starting to show, right? So you can stop like at some level, but let's just run through the list quickly. Now we don't need to go do it very slowly. Now this one, try to break out and then pull back. If there is a breakout here, will it look like a good setup? And the answer is maybe. Answer is maybe. One more day like this will be better. So I would not take it here. It's just 1T. So look at NC now. Your NC net change is getting into 83 area. So anyway, if something is like 90 cents, it will show up in dollar breakout, right? So Tenet Healthcare. Now if there is a breakout here, let's say there is a breakout, right? Will it look good? The answer is yes, right? The answer is definitely good. So here. Now will that look good? Yes. So you can take that. It's a higher priced one, little bit higher priced one. Look our still again similar thing. If you get a breakout, it might look good. So again, remember that when you are doing it in your first cut, you can select lot more and then reduce. Even this one is like first leg, it's going sideways. If there is a breakout, that might be a good breakout. So, and then once we put everything in the watch list, in the morning you can reduce it and have a less number of stocks, right? And that's how you can find something like this also. This has to be done daily for it to really become part of you and part of your daily process. But if you're going to do it daily, I think you should stop at certain NC level. I would definitely say anything beyond $1 is may not be worth your effort. So, or you can develop a scan to look at that way. So all these are breakouts now, right? And the good thing about going through this is look, this was a good breakout that day. We didn't really buy because, well, I didn't buy, but how well it has worked, right? 13%. So that also teaches you what to look for in a good breakout, because you're going through everything which has momentum currently. And Khaki International, if there is a breakout here, it's a high price stock. If there is a breakout, is it going to look good? And the answer looks like yes, right? The answer is definitely yes. So here it will look like this and it can make a move like that. So you got good setups. So if you have a list like this ready, we finished everything, right? So we are going to copy flagged into the anticipation watch list and anticipation and remove all symbols from here. Now, if you have a watch list like this, it becomes easier to enter them early because you already did your work, and then you can fine tune this list to like just couple of them which look very good, and you have only select list of stocks which are really looking at the best setups in the market, right? Red Robin Gourmet, Kroger, Vivo Biosphere, probably. Now, if my watch list is only just these stocks, right, supposing, and those are the best, right? Now I have Hudson, I have LNTH, I have CBT and RRGB and KR and Vivo and only 7 stocks. Within that, you can prioritize by which is the best looking one. So this is say number 1 setup. I'm just taking an example, and this is your number 2 setup, or like this is your number 3, or this is your number 3. Then enter that in that order in Interactive Broker, so that you know the first one is first priority, and as and when they start breaking out, the first one to break out you want to buy, and that is how you can get into breakouts much earlier. And if you can do that, and if you get, say if Kruger is going to break out and it's going to make 4% move on Monday, and if you have this and you get, because it is up or down 0.29%, how much confirmation do you need for it to be considered for a breakout? If it breaks out 0.5%, 0.6%, that itself is a confirmation. So enter there. You are going to be having a 3% cushion, or you are going to make 3% more, because after 4% breakout, people are going to look at it. Similarly, it was up or down 0.16 cents. So how much? 30 cents move is double this, which will tell you that it is breaking out. If you enter at 30-cent level, right, versus waiting for a dollar breakout to enter, you're going to have $60 cushion, or you are going to make 60 cents more, and over 1,000 trades, how much it adds up? And 60 cents in percentage term will be a big percentage. So the more work you do like this, prioritizing and have a watch list like this, you'll find it easier to get in early. Any questions? Keep it in the comment here.